Hi there folks, welcome back to Rich Reviews, my latest TV show for you guys here now. This happens to be Mr. Corman. This comes from Apple TV Plus, and it was sadly just announced that this thing would not be picked up for a second season. It stars Joseph Gordon-Levitt and is executive produced by Joseph Gordon-Levitt. And the 10 episodes, 8 are directed by Joseph Gordon-Levitt. Of the episodes that are here, 4 of whom are written by Joseph Gordon-Levitt. Now apparently Apple TV Plus has a couple other projects which they are helping produce with Joseph Gordon-Levitt, so they're not getting out of the Joseph Gordon-Levitt business. And apparently when I saw the first trailer to this show, I thought to myself, okay, this could be interesting. Apparently this TV show was going to be filmed in Los Angeles. Of course, sadly, the pandemic hit. Then they decided to move the production to New Zealand. I don't think it really all that shows that much, given the fact that you can easily do something with Los Angeles and New Zealand. And this stars Joseph Gordon-Levitt as Joshua Corman. He's a 5th grade school teacher who originally was supposed to be an aspiring musician with a band. Those dreams didn't necessarily come to reality, and so therefore he decided to become said teacher. And he recently broke up with his fiancée over a year ago. As we were meeting him, he is stuck in a rut. He has a roommate named Victor. And in the first episode, he is trying desperately to get out of the house. He wants to hook up with some random babe or just party it up in general. And he goes to his former bandmate who is like, yeah, I'm doing all this wonderful stuff in the music industry. And he meets this one girl, and you're thinking to himself, okay, this could go somewhere with this one particular girl, although this episode sort of ends with him not being able to get up in bed, and therefore he's just like, oh, that's sucks for me. Now, if you saw the trailer for this series, you would think to yourself, okay, this could be interesting. However, reviews were not always kind to the series. And trust me, folks, I like to say out of the 10 episodes that I saw here, I like to think of maybe only 3 are worthwhile. One is called Victor. This happens to be about his roommate Victor and him being a UPS man, and he has a daughter, and he's currently going through a divorce, and obviously his daughter is a brat. And this thing ends in one of the most weirdest ways you can imagine, in which Victor has his daughter over at the apartment, and his one-night stand is there, or a girl he's been dating for a while, and all 3 of them have a conversation. And the daughter sort of asks, oh yeah, the reason you're not going to see him again is because the sex was bad. And then everyone laughs, and then the episode is over. And I'm just sort of like, okay, that's a weird way to end an episode. The harder things I found difficult to swallow in this series is that, yes, Joseph Gordon-Levitt's Mr. Corman is an affable guy. He's just mistakenly assuming that every problem is just, oh, woe is me. People don't have these particular set of problems. And at least a couple of people eventually call him out on it. One of whom happens to be his mother, played by Deborah Winger. Another happens to be his ex-fiancée, played by Juno Temple. And in this one episode that the ex-fiancée shows up, her mother is played by Lucy Lawless. Wow, Lucy Lawless hasn't really aged all that well, or at least she is just put on weight for this one particular role here. Again, who doesn't love Xena, Warrior Princess? And another episode that I think at least is partially a highlight, although at least the last couple episodes do highlight the COVID pandemic. Now, and then the one episode that sort of highlights this, why I think, okay, there's something there that maybe if there was a second season, maybe we could have gone into that more, is Josh and his father, played by Hugo Weaving. And basically Hugo Weaving is like, yeah, you're essentially like me, even though he says I'm nothing like you, and basically says, yeah, I at least have myself to blame, you're blaming others, but you're living on the streets more or less, and you constantly want money to get out of the life that you currently have. Josh has a sister who is also constantly annoyed with his bitterly complaining. And then also we do sort of kind of meet as students, it's always wonderful to probably be an educator and educate minds in the 5th grade, knowing that they're going off to middle school and high school. And another episode which I think is quite interesting is the alternate paths that Joshua Corman's life could have taken. And those are a bit short, and most of these episodes are between 25 and 35 minutes long. Easy to digest if you have the stomach for a guy who is really just not in the greatest of moods sometimes. The last episode, he's on a virtual date with Jamie Chung, and it's always nice to see Jamie Chung. All throughout the series, he's trying to create this set of music that in the end you get to hear, and it's like, well, that's interesting, but I don't think I would ever buy that on Spotify or whatever music platform that there is. So folks, Mr. Corman, have you seen this? What did you think? Please put everything in the comment box below here, folks. As always, folks, like, comment, subscribe, enrich yourself with knowledge. Michael Richard 2 on Twitter. I'll see you next time, folks. Yes, hooray.